Alright, YouTube, David Harry here. Now let me just do something really quickly just to make sure I am recording from the correct microphone source here. Okay, so what it is, I'm just making a noise into the RODE Videomic GO II here. So what I'm doing is doing my very first preliminary audio test. Well, it's actually a camera and audio test really, to do with the iPhone SE 2022 and also the RODE Videomic GO II. Now at the moment the GO II has actually got the dead cat on from a RODE Videomic NTG. I believe this is, is this the WS12 or the WS11? I'll pop it up right now which one this is. So this is not the other one, which would be either the 12 or the 11, which is designed for this particular microphone. However, it is not necessary to use the proper one right now, only because there just is not enough kind of like, you know, air movement or breeze or wind which would disturb the mic that much. I've put the dead cat on anyway because there will be very slight air movement and that could be enough to disturb the capsule. However, the proper dead cat for the GO II apparently comes with some extra bits of rubber or something which helps to block the ports that are not being used when you're recording, and so basically you don't get any other form of ingress for air movements and stuff, not from the mic itself but from the ports. But like I say, right now not enough air movement for that to be an issue, so the fact that I've got the other dead cat on won't technically kind of like hinder anything or anything like that. However, it will give me a good idea to let me know what this all sounds like, because at the end of the day I could use this probably without the dead cat. In fact, give me 1 second. Okay, so I've took the dead cat off right now, and we might have heard a slight tonal change or something, but because it is so still right now we might get away without the dead cat. In fact, if I was just sitting down here and not moving, the foam filter that comes with the GO II would be perfectly fine right now. However, there's nothing on it, and let me just double check here, hold on. So I've just blown into the capsule there, which should have completely wrecked it. Actually, on that point as well, what I need to test here is whether or not the basic app or the basic camera app on the iPhone applies AGC. So the thing what I'm doing here is connecting the GO II to the phone with the RODE digital cable, as it were, which I think is at the something 15, SC15, whatever it is. I will flash it up right now. So what that is, it's actually a lightning to USB cable. So what happens is the lightning end of the cable goes into the phone, and then the USB-C end of the cable goes into the mic itself. And what that should do is give us a direct digital connection to the phone for the audio. So basically what's going on here, or what should be going on, is whatever the analog to digital conversion stage is that's going on with the microphone itself, which will be very high quality. The resulting digital signal from that is what's going into the phone, as opposed to sending the analog signal out and then letting the phone deal with the A to D. So right now we are getting hopefully a great signal, or the best signal we possibly can, with this particular combination. However, I still don't know whether AGC is going to be getting applied. So on that point, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make a really loud noise into the microphone. And so actually what I'll do, I'll go quiet, I'll give the phone time to re-level itself if AGC is being used, then I will jump on the mic, make a loud noise, and then I will pull away dead quick. And what we should be able to hear is when I make the loud noise, if AGC is actually being kicked in digitally, then I will probably get sucked down as far as the level is concerned, and then when I suddenly stop, after a few seconds we should hear the background level raise back up again. So let me go quiet and try that. Okay, so that mad crazy noise that I just done into the microphone, do you know what, there's people walking through the park there. I really should think about these things. People walking through the park going, there's a nutcase in that side of the park, completely avoid it. Some guy's just shouting at his hand, right? Anyways, that would have given us a good idea as to whether or not AGC is actually being applied here. Because it is hopefully a digital signal, And I still don't know that actually right now. I've been trying to get to the bottom of this to find out as to whether or not there's an analog fallback in this configuration. Usually when you connect like this, it is a digital bit stream that goes from the microphone to the recording device. However, in certain instances, and I know it does this on USB-C with Android, it does have a fallback onto an analog input as well. So that's something that I still definitely don't know if that occurs here. But nonetheless, my assumption would be if it's a digital signal, then hopefully the basic camera app totally bypasses AGC. However, it may not have done, so that shouting or screaming stupid noises into the microphone just then would have let me have known that. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is flip over onto the rear camera. Okay, so I've now flipped over onto the rear camera. Now, technically, there should be no difference with the audio because all I'm doing is flipping cameras, not flipping microphones. But let's just make sure that there's no weirdness going on here, which means that like when you flip to the different camera, that maybe the iPhone just like does something mad and goes to its internal mics and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do, make a noise in front of the GO II here, hold on. Okay, so that noise there should have given us a really good idea as to let us know that the microphone is still active. Like I say, it shouldn't make any difference at all, but you never know sometimes with these things, you know, in software, when you change one thing to a different thing, as in just flip the cameras, sometimes these things can trigger things like fall back onto like the internal mics and stuff like that. It's just worth testing. It's also worth testing here as well for field of view. Because the field of view on the front camera is actually wider than the rear, so that's the rear camera, like full arm's length away. Far too uncomfortable for me to vlog with. Even sitting down, I wouldn't want to do this. That's about as close as I think I can get it, because the field of view once again will be too narrow. Ideally, I would want the camera there, and that would be where it would be if it was a GoPro or something, but I definitely won't be able to do this distance because of the field of view. So maybe there is probably where I should be. What it is, I've only had this phone for like a short period of time so far, and I've not really done any testing. In fact, I've come out today to do my very first testing for a number of things to do with vlogging with this phone. So right now I still don't even know if I'm in the optimal kind of vertical position for the camera on the rear, because of course right now I can't see anything. I would imagine I should be in the center of the frame, but as for me vertical positioning, I'm not entirely sure. Nonetheless, anyway, this is a test for the microphone, and hopefully it is all still cool and stuff. Anyways, I think this will probably start like rounding this video up now anyway, because this was really just for me to get my first recordings to make sure that everything was fine. Also as well, I had come out with my little extension bar here, which is what I use to offset the microphones when the field of views are too much, say with GoPros and things like that, to pull the microphone back out of the shot. However, what I've done here, I'm just using the GO II's little standard like little cradle thing, like, you know, it's little ladder shock mount, because on that you can move it backwards and forwards by about 1.5 inches. And what it is, I've got it fully set back at the moment, and it's definitely enough for like both of the microphones to have it in this position. Actually, I say that, give me 1 second. Yeah, I can't see the dead cat in the frame there. So definitely you can just use the mic as is without having to fool around with any kind of like offset bar or anything like that, and keep it out of the field of view. In fact, one quick test I'll do here, and that's just to do a quick cardioid thing. So I'm now talking at 90 degrees to the phone, or 190-degree axes there. And then now I'm talking directly from behind, so that should give us an idea. It may actually have like raised up a slight bit, because this is a shotgun microphone. Although it's a very short barreled shotgun, it still will exhibit a real low characteristic. Now that is the other 90-degree axis or axes there, and then that's me now back round to the front. So hopefully that will give us a quick idea of the cardioid characteristics of the microphone in this particular setup. Not that that should change from setup to setup. However, if AGC was being applied here, then as I did that cardioid little test, it wouldn't have been accurate because AGC would have tried to have re-leveled things. Once again, I don't know this right now. You will know this. I mean, and by the time you've aired this, I will also know it as well, but right now I don't. Anyways, that'll probably do it then for this first preliminary test for this particular setup. Now what I'm going to do off the back of this, I'm going to go out and do a proper full-blown walk around vlog thing with this setup. However, I will use the correct dead cat for that as well. On that point, give us a sec. Okay, so I've just took the dead cat off again there, and again, because there isn't that much wind movement or anything, it should be fine as far as like not distorting the capsule with wind and whatnot. Also, technically speaking, there should be a difference in the tone, because no matter how good a dead cat is at not interfering with tone, and I'm going to say interfering with tone, I'm not talking about Tone's adventures. I don't think he would like me interfering with him. What I'm saying is here, when you take a dead cat like off and on something, you should definitely hear tonal changes. And the reason for that is it doesn't matter how kind of like acoustically kind of like, you know, neutral anything is that you put on a microphone. Any kind of like, you know, obstacle that's on the mic will definitely interfere with certain things. It will change the tonal characteristics. So the EQ response and things like that will change. Whether it's big changes or small changes, that's something that I'm still yet to hear for this setup, but it does happen nonetheless. But right now we are hearing like the best tonal response that we possibly can do, because there is nothing on the microphone right now. Anyways, I think that probably will be everything that I need to do with this particular video right now. So for anybody who's had a listen to this, let me know what you think in the comments of this particular setup. Oh, also as well, I would not have applied my usual AGC in post here, only because I want to get an idea of exactly what this sounds like. Actually, it's getting a bit breezy. Give us a sec. Yeah, slight little bit of breeze there, so I've just put the dead cat back on. Yeah, what I was saying there is usually I would apply AGC in post. So I've not done this for this particular recording, only because I want to hear exactly what this sounds like going in and coming back out. And the reason why that is because I do need to know of this initial test exactly how it all sounds without any further post-production. I'm going to say further post-production, I don't heavily compress things and I don't re-EQ. I just use a bit of limiting to take off maybe those erroneous few dB of peaks and then resum the level for output. And what that does, it gives a sound which doesn't sound all kind of like, you know, hot and compressed and stuff like that, but it gives it a bit more extra level on the output and things. You can use a limiter and go crazy with one and then make it like have the same effect as a compressor would almost, but that's not what I use them for. But nonetheless, that's not what I've done here. So what we're hearing here is exactly what's gone in, is exactly what's gone out. And also I've not even re-leveled in post either at all. So as a for instance, this might have a maximum peak of maybe -6. I don't know this actually, don't know nothing yet until I test it in post. In fact, whatever it is, I'll flash it up right now what its maximum peak was. Now that maximum peak will be all that it is, so that means the level might be quite low, to be honest, and people might have to have like turned up the volume a little bit on this particular recording, only because it didn't do anything in post to re-level or gain or anything like that. Anyway, shut up Dave, that's all getting dead boring. Get off, because you've got more tests to do. Anyways, let me know in the comments what you've thought of this configuration and how it sounds. I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.